Delighted to say Roger Varian is here. I imagine he might have been an interesting bystander listening to what the Godolphin team had to say about Trista. You've got Interlac in the race. We'll start with that horse. They think they've got the real deal. What do you think about your horse for this race? Is Interlac the real deal?
I'm sure he is. I think he's got huge talent. We've looked after him through his career. He's only ran 5 times. I think the best is yet to come. He's had a wonderful preparation at home for this race, and I think starting on Saturday, but throughout this year, I think he's a very exciting horse to have in the camp.
What has particularly been pleasing you then through the winter? And you say, right, I've got him where I want him to be.
Well, he's a big horse, and he only ran once at 2. He only had 4 races last year. He hasn't run since August. So he's had a good winter of development, and you buy a sire Dynaform, whose prodigy generally get better with age. To look at him physically, you've got to think and hope he's going to be a better 4-year-old than he was a 3-year-old. He was a decent 3-year-old. Sort of since the turn of the year, we've been winding up his work, with this weekend in mind, and his work's been excellent. Been very pleased with him.
And obviously, was a solo decision not being here? Did that prompt you, or what was the sort of reason why you ended up saying, right, we'll go for the turf? Because it wasn't the initial thought, because you were running him, trying him on the all-weather.
Yes, I think not 100% solo coming out swayed us, but I think no doubt Solo's defection gave Dubai Turf a different look. I spoke at length to Sheikh Hamdan about which race to run in, and he was, as always, very helpful, and we ultimately thought this year, as he still is a little bit inexperienced in terms of racing, the turf option, was the best option to take, and it's not to say that sometime down the line he won't be tried on dirt. I should think he will at some point, but probably at this stage of his career, I think we've made the right choice.
Hugely competitive, but I presume you obviously have utmost respect for Trista and others, but do you feel that you're the winner? How confident are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
No, we're confident. We got a lot of belief in this horse. I think he's a very good horse, and but we're very respectful of the opposition. We've been very impressed with Trista, what he's done not only this year, but back home this time last year, what he was doing at Lingfield. He's put up some good fractions, and he's a very talented horse. I think it'd be a very interesting race. How it's run and how it plays out. I'm happy with our draw in 8. I think it gives us a fair chance, and Paul's got a lot of confidence in the horse. He knows him very well. He's relatively uncomplicated. It's a good race. We don't know if we'll win. Nobody knows, but I couldn't be more happy with a horse going into the race.
You've got 2 very good horses. We better talk about Postponed. How excited are you? You've got the horse now. How are you excited about the prospects of what this horse could do, not only on Saturday night, but for this year?
Well, he looks one of the world's leading horses over 1.5 miles. So, he's hugely exciting to have him in the stable. He's a proven horse. Before he came to me, he's a King George winner. He's a huge profile, and of course we're lucky to have him, lucky to be training him. I'm very excited about running him on Saturday.
And has it been easy preparation in getting to know the horse and knowing how to press the right buttons?
It's never easy with horses, but I think over time you learn about them. I'm very pleased that we decided against running him last autumn. I think while he only moved across town in Newmarket, I think it takes a horse time to settle and bed into a new home, and I'm sure it took him time, but again, like Interlac, since the turn of the year, with these 2 races in mind, starting with the City of Gold Stakes, leading into the Shima Classic, he's, touch wood, been very straightforward. You know, he's had a dream preparation. His work's been excellent. You know, very, very mentally a very tough, uncomplicated horse. No, we're pleased with him.
Okay, got these 2 right. Probably unfair, but which one are you feeling most? Which one do you think, right, that's the one? Postponed or Intellect?
You look at them both as individual horses, and I think in their own right they've both got solid chances in their respective races. They've both had a good preparation. A lot can happen on the night. You know, they've got to, you know, mentally take it, and tactically it's got to go right on the night. There's so much things that come into both performances, but I wouldn't single out one over the other. They're both very good horses, and very excited about running them.
And if you have a winner here, where would this rank on your relatively newish training career? But you've had runners here before. What would it mean to you to get a winner at this in your current training career?
No, it would be a highlight for sure. You know, this is one of those nights of racing on the international stage in the calendar year, which, you know, you're desperate to compete at. You know, to have a horse is good enough to bring here, you know, and line up in the races is a thrill in itself. But should one of them, you know, should we be lucky enough to get a winner on Saturday, then it would be a highlight for sure.
Brilliant, thanks, Roger. Any questions for Roger?
Roger, how much more difficult is it to take over a horse like Postponed at that sort of stage of his career? I mean, normally you'd have a horse in 2-year-old days and be able to follow them all the way through and be with them every step of the way. Is it much more difficult just to inherit a horse like that?
I don't think so, no. If you keep those outside pressures of expectation away and just focus on the horse, it's no different to training any horse in the yard. You got to treat the horse like you don't know him. Although we know his form, you know, he's a new inmate, so to speak, and take time to get to know him. And I must say, he's been not just because he's a good horse, but he's been a pleasure to train because he's an uncomplicated horse. I think although you know about him from the outside looking in, you've got to treat him as a blank canvas and get to know him and make the right calls from your own judgment of what you're seeing at home and on the gallops. And I don't think it's, you know, it's a privilege to train a horse as good as him, but he knows that good before he comes into the yard. But we treat him like any other horse.
What kind of owner is Shape Hammer Bay? Is he hands-on? Is he called with us all the time, or do you give him a report every month? How is your relationship developed over the short time you've had his horses?
Well, I have a very close relationship with Sheikh Mohammed Obeid. You know, he has no racing manager, so we speak very regularly. And since I took over his string of horses, he's been a pleasure to deal with. He doesn't put me under any pressure. He gives me a lot of confidence, and as I say, we speak regularly. There's a lot of horses to talk about, and a very straightforward man.
Roger, I spoke to him about a month ago. He wasn't going to be here on the night. Is that still the case?
Yes, I believe he won't be here on Saturday.
Excuse me, I'm Japanese press, so how do you feel that you are meant to from Japan?
Well, we're very respectful of Giuramente. I've watched his races, and he's obviously a very good horse. I think that over the last few years, we greatly respect any of the Japanese horses at these big international meets because regularly they're winning the big races around the world. Giuramente looks one of the best horses in Japan at the moment, and just knowing that makes us respect him very much. If I wasn't racing against him, I'd be very excited to see him.